Alright, so for the first page, remember, like I said, this is exactly the format of your quiz. Alright? So the first thing you're going to do is identify whether it's periodic. Remember, if it's periodic, it repeats exactly, okay, in cycles. So this one is not periodic. You can say no, or you can say not periodic. Either one is fine, okay? The next one, this does repeat exactly. When you're trying to find out like what the period is, I would pick a place that's easy to calculate. Like here, I can see this is at 0, so I'm going to go to the next dip, okay, which is about right there, so it's about 6. So the period is going to be 6. Okay, you could do it again from crest to crest. That's fine. I just knew if I use 0 to 6, that would be an easy calculation for me. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It should be still 6, no matter where you are. So this would be 1, 2, 3. Is this the one that you use?
Yeah.
Okay, so 3, 1, 2, negative 3 here. So negative 3 to 3. Okay, so you should still get the 6 value. Okay, and then for number 2, you are using one of the parent functions as a guide, graphing each function, identify the amplitude and period, describe the transformations, make a table of 5 key values, and then you guys had to label your graph. When you see your quiz, okay, this is the difference. I will have this label for you like this, okay, and then you will have to use that. Is it 40? Or just off this thing? Okay, so once you get to this one, okay, you will just see the scale there, okay, and obviously I'm going to use the scale that is going to be the simplest for you to calculate. So your amplitude here is 1/3, your period, remember, is 2 pi over b. So if your b is 1/2, 2 pi divided by 1/2 is 4 pi. Okay, that's where you have to go ahead and multiply by the reciprocal. Okay? Alright, your transformations. This one has 2. You have a vertical. Is it a stretch or compression? Why compression? Yeah, because it's less than 1. Good. So vertical compression by 1/3 and a horizontal what? Good, because for horizontal, what do we have to do? We have to do the reciprocal. So the reciprocal of 1/2 is 2, so that means it's a stretch because it's greater than 1. Here, you just have to tell me what the max value and the min value is. So the max value is your amplitude. The min value is the opposite of your amplitude. So if your amplitude is 1/3, the max is 1/3, the min is negative 1/3. Alright, now we're going to fill out the chart. So if there's no phase shift, and it's a sine, okay, you are going to start at 0, 0. Both of them are 0. So start at 0. Where do you end? What should this one be? Yeah, 4 pi, because you're going to end at your period. Okay? Halfway is 2 pi. And then all of these are zeros for sine. Okay? For sine, you always start at 0, you end at 0, halfway is 0. Halfway between 0 and 2 pi is pi. Halfway between 2 pi and 4 pi? 3 pi. So if there's no reflection, then you have your max and you have your min. Okay? So when you're graphing this, you're going to start 0, 0. This is 1/3, so I did my 1/3 here. So start at 0. 4 pi, end at 0, halfway, and then halfway in between we go up, halfway in between we go down, and then you have to span your entire grid. So see how I went 1, 2 up, so now I'm going 1, 2 down, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2 up, 1, 2 step. These are too young for that, so I'm going to check. 1, 2 steps on. Alright, and there is your graph. Alright, now we have cosine, 2 cosine of 4x. So I like to identify what my b value is. My amplitude is going to be 2. My period is 2 pi over b. So this is going to reduce to pi over 2. So you do have to make sure that you have the reduced form. Okay? The transformations, there is a vertical, is it a stretch or compression? Stretch, great. By 2, vertical stretch by 2, and a horizontal what? Yeah. Great. Horizontal compression by 1/4. Alright, so the max value is what? 2, and the min value? -2. So amplitude, opposite of your amplitude. Cosine, when there's no shift, it also starts at 0. Okay, so this is where you start, and then it's at your max, so your max is 2. It's going to end at the period, which is pi over 2, and then if you start at the max, you end at the max. Okay, really, from here, you can fill in all of your y's, right? Because halfway, where are you? -2, so this is your min, and then halfway in between those, you would get your 0. So what's halfway between 0 and pi over 2? Pi over 4. You can just multiply pi over 2 by what? 1/2. Okay? Same thing here. Between 0 and pi over 4, just multiply by 1/2. What's pi over 4 times 1/2? Pi over 8. Now look what's happening. This is 1 pi over 8. This is 2 pi over 8. This is 3 pi over 8. And this is 4 pi over 8. Okay? So again, you'll have your scale set up for you. So I went by pi over 8. So 1 pi over 8. 2 pi over 8. 3 pi over 8. 4 pi over 8. 5 pi over 8. 6 pi over 8. 7 pi over 8. 8 pi over 8. Okay, so on this side, because this is to help me with my points in the graph, so really every other one I'm going by pi over 4. So this is -1 pi over 4, -2 pi over 4, -3 pi over 4, -4 pi over 4. Okay, again, you will have them labeled. They are labeled every other one. So if I just labeled that with the pi over 4s, you would have to understand that half of pi over 4 is pi over 8. Okay? So at 0, I'm at 2. And just pay attention to the y scale. So sometimes I put the 2 up there. Actually, for this one I didn't. Sometimes I spread it out. Sometimes I just put it exactly as it is. But the y will also be labeled. So at 0, I'm at 2. At pi over 2, I'm at 2. Halfway at pi over 4, I'm at -2, and then halfway here. And this is one cycle, and now I have to keep going. So you have to stay in your graphs. So I'm going to go over 1, which is 0, and then my min, 0, my max. Now I want you to be careful with the ending of these, because I know this is sometimes people accidentally put the arrow going up. That is not correct. So do not make that mistake. This is your maximum value, right? So the arrow's not going to go up. You have to make sure that you loop that back around. Okay? And really, there is this point here, 0, that's still on there. So if you want to put that there so you don't make that mistake, you're welcome to do so. So this is 0, minimum, 0, maximum, 0, minimum, 0, maximum, 0. Okay, so that's your graph. How does that look? beautiful too? You didn't put the arrow going the wrong way? I want you to double check that.